Greetings, everyone, and welcome. October the 1st, 2025, and President Zelenskyy has given a critical warning to the world that the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is in the worst condition that it has been in since the full-scale invasion and war has unfolded, and it is 100% Russia's fault. They are fighting back that it's not their fault. Ukraine is doing it, but I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to prove it to you, that that is 100% lies. Zelenskyy is telling the truth. In addition to that, Dnipro was just blacked out. I have breaking video of that. And additionally, something unique in the world happening with Russia today. And it's a sad story. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing. We appreciate each and every one of you as you help us tell the truth. Now, let's jump straight into the Dnipro story first. Looking at this map, I have some things marked for you. So in the upper right, the blue circle, that is the city of Dnipro and the video I'm getting ready to show you. The green circle below it is the city of Zaporizhzhia. Over to the left in the black circle is Zaporizhzhia, and of course the nuclear power plant that is occupied by Russia, Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. That is the location of it, and we will be talking about that in just one moment. But just minutes ago, this is what happened in Dnipro. You will see, there's no sound, it's dash cam. You will see a bright light, and then the city blacks out. The guy's driving, see the bright light, boom. Everything is dark. This is what just happened in Dnipro. I'll play it for you again. The bright light, everything blacked out, and boom, utter darkness. So this is what we're facing right now in Dnipro. And as I am working on getting this video out to you, it is just happening. So no answer as to why, but stay tuned in a future update. And if I get information why and what's happening behind it, I definitely will share that for you and with you. Now, let's get to Zelenskyy's statement hours ago that the situation is critical in Energodar, Ukraine, where the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is, and that is the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant behind him, the largest in Europe that Russia has stolen and now is destroying. Let's listen to Zelenskyy first. There has never been such an emergency situation at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The situation is critical due to Russian shelling. The station is disconnected from the power grid. Electricity is provided by a diesel generator. This is extremely unusual. The generators and the station are not designed for this. They have never been in this mode for so long, and we already have information that one of the generators is failing. It is the Russians who, with their shelling, are preventing the repair of the power line to the station and the restoration of basic security, and this is an absolute threat to everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to share with you exactly what Zelenskyy says. He said it's the worst situation yet. He says it is critical threat to everyone. Now I'm going to explain to you why Russia is lying and Zelenskyy is telling the truth, and it's right here in the map. So, down here, I have for you circled the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. This is where it is located. It is occupied by Russia. Just for reference, I can show you Zaporizhzhia right here. Here is Dnipro we were just talking about in Zaporizhzhia. So the power lines that come in to supply power to the nuclear power plant come from Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen. They come this way through Nikopol, across the basin, into Energodar. They come down through Zaporizhzhia and into Energodar to the nuclear power plant. The lines do not come this way. They come from Ukrainian-controlled territory. This is why Zelenskyy is saying the Russians are shelling these power lines and not giving us the ability to repair them to get energy back to the nuclear power plant so that it is at least safe for mankind. So this is the reality of the situation. Now, why is Russia doing that? Well, that's a different story. And I think we can find some of the answer here, and that is Ukraine is smashing their infrastructure. These are facts only. Unprecedented refinery crisis in Russia after Ukrainian drone strikes. 38% of Russia's refining capacity is offline, the highest ever disruption. Gasoline output fell by 1 million tons in September, creating a 20% domestic shortfall. That is why you see the videos with lines and queues for cars waiting to fill up. Russian oil companies can do little to ease the crisis because Ukraine is nonstop hitting the targets, and they're hitting them with accuracy. Repairs may take months, worsened by sanctions, limiting access to parts and technology that Russia so desperately needs. So this is what we're talking about here. I can even show you, this is Samara. Outlined in the blue here, of course, is Ukraine. And I drew a red line there, basically showing you the closest areas that Ukraine could launch from to get to Samara, and that distance is still 636 miles, or basically 1,000 kilometers. What is Russia doing now to protect their oil refineries and their production and storage facilities? It's right here. Take a look at this, guys. This is Samara Oil Refinery and Storage. They are covering them in chain link fence and nettings. You will even see, this is footage coming out today from Samara. You get to the tanks and you can see the huge nets over them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 1,000 kilometers from the closest point Ukraine could launch to hit Samara. So it is critical. That is why Russia wants to keep the pressure on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. That is one of the reasons. Now, let's go to this. I'm going to share with you now what is happening in Russia, and I am so thankful that this is happening in Russia. And what is it? It's simple. Air alarms. Take a listen here. This is St. Petersburg, Russia. Of course, beautiful, huge city. Now, they're not under attack. But today, Russia testing and upgrading the air alarm systems where? Not only in St. Petersburg. I could have shown you videos from any of these cities, but looking at this map here, St. Petersburg, Moscow, Rostov, Nizhny Novgorod, Kazan, Perm, Yekaterinburg, Samara, Chelyabinsk, Omsk, all of these major cities in Western and Central Western Russia are having their air alarm systems upgraded and testing. Why? Because of the threat of escalation that is imminent through the skies from Ukraine. Of course, Ukraine is using their own modified Neptune missiles to strike at distance. They also have the Flamingos, but if they are given access to Tomahawk or Taurus, we're talking about major game changer, and Russia is preparing for that even as of now. All of this showing that this war is doing nothing but escalate. Finally, this is unacceptable. UN Security Council, coming out of these huge meetings for the week, Vasily Nebenzia, he is Russia's permanent representative, will present the monthly work program at a press conference today at UN headquarters. Because for the month of October, Russia assumes the duties of the president of the UN Security Council. And this is the same month when the global organization, the UN, is celebrating its 80th anniversary of its founding. And on the month where it's the 80th anniversary, Russia, the invading nation, is sitting as the president. What do? The work of the body responsible for maintaining international peace and security for the next month will be headed by the invading terroristic nation led by the dictator Vladimir Putin. This is where we're at. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting. This Zaporizhzhia nuclear power situation is critical, and we will keep you updated as well as what just happened in Dnipro. Be blessed.